Industrialization spreads. The industrialization that began in Great Britain spread to other parts of the world. Other countries followed the example of Britain and began to change their economies to an industrial base. The United States was one of the first. Like Britain, it had water power, sources of coal and iron, and ready supply of workers. The United States also benefited from conflict with Britain. During the War of 1812, Britain stopped shipping goods to the United States. As a result, the American industries had a chance to supply the goods that the Americans wanted. The switch to an industrial economy began in the United States, in the textile industry. In 1789, based on memory and partial design, a British worker brought the secret of Britain's textile machines to North America. He built a machine to spin thread. In 1813, a group of Massachusetts investors built a complex of factories that made cloth. Just a few years later, they built an even larger complex in the town of Lowell. Thousands of workers, mostly young girls, came to these towns to work in the factories. In the United States, industry grew first in the Northeast. In the last decades of the 1800s, a rapid burst of industrial growth took place that was more widespread. This boom was fueled by large supplies of coal, oil, and iron. Helping too was the appearance of a number of new inventions, including the electric light. As in Britain, railroad building was also a big part of the industrial growth. Businesses needed huge sums of money to take on big projects. To raise money, companies sold shares of the ownership called stocks. All those who held stock were part owners of the company. This form of organizing a business is called a corporation. Industrial growth spread to Europe as well. Belgium was the first to adopt British ways. It was rich in iron and coal and had good waterways. It had the resources needed. Germany was politically divided until the late 1800s. As a result, it could not develop a wide industrial economy. However, West Central Germany was rich in coal and did become a leading industrial site. Across Europe, small areas began to change to the new industries. Industrial growth did not occur in France until after 1830. It was helped by the government's construction of a large network of railroads. Some countries, such as Austria, Hungary, and Spain, had problems that stopped them from building new industries. The Industrial Revolution changed the world. Countries that had adopted an industrial economy enjoyed more wealth and power than those who had not. The countries of Europe soon began to take advantage of lands in Africa and Asia. They used these lands as sources of raw materials needed for their factories. They saw the people only as markets for the goods they made. They took control of these lands, a practice called imperialism. The Industrial Revolution changed life forever in the countries that industrialized and the countries that they took advantage of. Problems caused by industrialization led to movements for social reform.